Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to this channel. I'm Mr. Edison. Today we are going to learn market equilibrium. In last video, we learned about the concept of demand and the concept of supply. And today we are going to put all these two graphs together and combine them. And this is what we call market equilibrium. So again, you have to start with your labeling. This is your price and this is your quantity traded. Okay, so then you have your demand curve, which is a downward sloping, always remember and label. The next one will be a supply curve, is upward sloping. Okay, and as you can see right now, there's an intersection point, and this is what we call equilibrium point. What is mean by equilibrium point? It means that the buyer and seller agree to trade at this price at this specific quantity. So as you can see here, this is your equilibrium price, and this will be your equilibrium quantity. All right, so it's quite simple. So basically, sometimes the question asks what is mean by equilibrium, market equilibrium. You can simply just say that where it's a point where the demand curve intersects with the supply curve. Okay, and this is what we call equilibrium point with the equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity. All right, so far so good. And of course, this is the basic one. Sometimes the question will not ask you like this. They will ask you to draw the line. Okay, they will ask you to draw the latest graph. So what does it mean? It means that let's say you have your supply and you have your demand here. Okay, so this is where the point operating right now at this point. If let's say there is an external factor that will increase the demand, a fast recap, when you increase your demand, your demand curve will shift left or shift right. Definitely, it will shift to the right. So then you will need to shift to the right, to D2. Okay, so this will be your equilibrium price. Previously was here, and then the price has been increases to here with the latest quantity traded. So this is, let's say this is P1 and become P2, Q1 become Q2. All right, so this is how this is how you're going to draw it when they say there is a factor influencing this. At the same time, if let's say they not only mention demand, you also say when supply, let's say I would say decrease in supply. So when your supply decreases, you will shift to the left. Then you are going to draw here this one and this one. So let's say this S2, which means that this will be your new equilibrium point. This will be your new equilibrium point, P3. All right. So you just need to know how to draw it, and then what kind of factor it will makes it to shift left or shift right. Then you just draw accordingly. And of course, lastly, you need to tell the examiner that the price increases from P1 to P2 and eventually to P3. And the quantity demanded change from in this case is quantity traded. It's no longer quantity demanded and also no longer quantity supplied. It's just quantity traded. Okay, the exact quantity where they just the quantity they traded for both parties. All right, and the next thing, let's do some exercises so you guys have a better understanding of how it works. So this is the first thing. Always, this is PPAP. PPAP is practice, practice, and practice. You know, we are Asian. We need to practice very, very hard. And income increases, cost of production decreases. So you know that income is what factor? Income is a demand factor. Income increases, your demand increases. Cost of production is what factor? Supply factor. Cost of production decreases, your supply increases. So you know that the demand shift to the right and the supply shift to the right as well. So which means that you have to draw your graph. Of course, always start with your X-Man curve. Okay, so this one sometimes I call it as X-Man because it's just like an X. Of course, need to label S and D. So you know that your demand increases here, D2, and then this one also increases, S2. And then you guys can mention that what happened here. Always mention that, oh, when the income increases, you will shift the demand curve to the right from D1 to D2. This is how you explain step by step. And let's say your cost of production decreases, you will shift to the right as well, okay? Because the cost of production decreases, make it cheaper for you to produce, so you can produce more, you can supply more. Therefore, higher supply, shift to the right, okay? And this will be your new equilibrium point. So this is your old equilibrium point. All right, let's look at the second question. Price of substitute decreases, tax increases. Again and again, identify factors. So this is demand factors. Price of substitute decreases. Your competitors, he or she is selling a cheaper price. So what happened to your quantity demanded? Of course, you have lower demand. So what happened when your tax increases? Tax increases, increase the cost of production, so your supply decreases. And you need to draw like this. Very easy, just draw like this. Q and P again and again. You need to draw S and D. So this one, supply decreases, demand decreases. Very easy, okay? And let's look at some of the past year question so you guys have a better understanding how it works. So let's look at here. Newspaper recently reported there has been a decrease in demand. So demand decreases, and that is, the price per kilo has increased. Oh, interesting. So the price increases. So let's look at here. What they mentioned in this question, they mentioned demand. Did the question mention anything about supply? No. When they did not mention anything about supply, please do not shift it. Just let it be. So we are looking at this as one. So demand decreases, it's going to shift to the left. Okay, so it's either A or D. Let's look at the question. The question says the price per kilo increases. So the answer is A. Quite simple. All right, and let's look at the next question. This one is about a new type of fishing boat increases the production, which reduces the cost. So cost of production decreases, your supply increases. They mention anything about demand or not? No, they didn't mention anything about demand. So you are going to operating in this point, X, with your D and now your supply increases, it shift to the right. Okay, so this is the intersection point. So the answer is D. All right, this is everything about market equilibrium. I hope you guys understand this video. If this video helps you guys, please leave a like below and comment if you guys want to know more. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.